In the equity markets today, all three of the major indices performed well, with the S&P up close to 0.75%, not quite. NASDAQ up a little bit more than that, over 0.75%, and the Dow leading up 90 basis points. Even the Russell 2000 was up, which, by the way, now the Russell 2000 is only about 3% away from its all-time high. New all-time highs, however, in the S&P, in the NASDAQ, and in the Dow, and the Dow's the one that's a little bit more interesting to me because that record high took the Dow above 29,500 for the first time ever and got a close above 29,500 for the first time ever. NASDAQ flirting with some pretty record levels as well in terms of a close above 3,900. Now, part of it was COVID-19, formerly known as the coronavirus, has some optimism behind it now. China is actually saying that the rate of new infections is slipping a little bit. There were new infections, but it's not growing exponentially anymore, at least within mainland China, according to China. We're getting a little bit of a contradiction on that from the CDC here in the US, basically saying that the US needs to prepare for COVID-19 to get a foothold here in the US, and then we're gonna have to fight it and contain it as well, potentially small batches of quarantines here and there, likely to be local, not even entire communities, but small areas. But he did say that it's likely to come here, as we've had a couple of reported cases now of infections for people who weren't not visiting China, so they received it in their own home country or another country they were visiting that was not China. But that optimism still coming out of China is part of what drove this, along with, again, some good earnings. Oracle, after the close today, pretty big number as well, so that was important to the overall market. We'll see how that affects the Dow tomorrow, but really the Dow led because energy was leading. It was the strongest sector of the major sectors today, really did well based off of the rally that we saw in crude oil. Crude oil having a very strong rally, even though you saw a 7.5 million barrel build. You saw that for the first time, inventories in crude oil fell 2% below the 5-year average for this time of year. So it looks like the old OPEC cuts, not the new ones that they're talking about doing now, but the old OPEC cuts are starting to bite into that crude oil glut. But we have had 3 consecutive builds in the EIA numbers, so it could reverse next week. Either way, energy-led, big energy representation within the Dow, which helped push it above 29,500.